If I told you that a small moment in this story changed someone's entire life, would you want to know it? Because today's story is about a boy who had nothing. No money, no home, no support from anyone. Yet, he changed his entire fate and life by changing just one thing. Friends, listen to this story carefully, because it might change your life too. Outside a famous hotel in a big city, a boy used to sit every day. His name was Daniel. He had nothing, no money, no place to stay, and no hope. Just an old brush, a little polish, and a reason to keep going. He cleaned people's shoes and said the same thing to everyone. "Sir, give whatever you feel is right." Some people gave him money out of kindness, some ignored him, and some scolded him and drove him away. But for Daniel, every day was the same: work, waiting, and hope. One day, a man walked out of the hotel. His clothes were simple, but there was confidence in the way he walked. Daniel quickly approached him and said, "Sir, shall I clean your shoes? Please give something." The man stopped and looked into Daniel's eyes. Then he asked, "If I give you money, what will you give in return?" Daniel replied instantly, "I'll clean your shoes." The man asked again, "And what if I don't want my shoes cleaned?" This time, Daniel was silent. For the first time, he had no answer. The man leaned slightly closer and said softly, "If you have nothing extra to give, why would people give you anything extra?" And with that, he walked away. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about that one word, extra. What can I give extra? He had no money, no special skill. But the question stayed in his mind. The next day, he brought a small empty box. He cut tiny pieces of paper and wrote short lines on them. "Have a nice day. You look good when you smile. Something good will happen today." Now, whenever he cleaned someone's shoes, he would quietly hand them one of those little notes as they left. At first, people were surprised, but slowly smiles began to appear on their faces. Some people started keeping those notes. A clear change was visible now. People began recognizing him. Some came just to meet him, and some even gave him money without any work. This happened because Daniel was no longer just cleaning shoes. He was making people feel good. A few weeks later, the same man returned. He noticed that where Daniel once sat alone, there was now a crowd around him. He walked up and asked, "What changed?" Daniel smiled and said, "Earlier, I just worked. Now I make people feel good." The man laughed and said, "Today, you are no longer just a laborer. You have become someone who creates value." This thought stayed with Daniel. Now he started thinking bigger. He began saving money, and within a few months, he set up a small shoe care stall. He hired 2 boys like himself and never stopped giving those little notes to customers. After a year, he was no longer just a boy who cleaned shoes. He had 3 stalls. People knew him by name, and most importantly, people didn't come to him just for work, but for the experience he gave them. One day, that same man came again. This time, Daniel offered him a seat, gave him water, and said, "Today, please don't give me money. Today, I want to give you something." The man smiled and asked, "What will you give me?" Daniel handed him a small piece of paper. It read, "Thank you. You taught me what it truly means to give." Friends, the lesson from this story is simple. Life doesn't change because of our circumstances. It changes because of our mindset. Daniel always had the same hands, the same effort, and the same place. But the only difference was his thinking. As long as he saw himself as helpless, small, and dependent on others, his life remained the same, limited, stuck, and dependent on others' kindness. But the day he started seeing himself differently, day he understood that he could be a giver, not just someone who receives. Something changed within him, and that one change slowly transformed his entire life. The truth is, many of us are just like Daniel. We blame our situations, think little of ourselves, and keep waiting for someone else to come and change our lives. But real change begins when we ask ourselves one question: what can I change? The day we ask this question honestly is the day we start seeing paths, finding opportunities, and most importantly, building belief in ourselves. So remember, your outer world changes when your inner thinking changes. And the day your thinking changes, that's the day your life begins to change. If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay connected with us for more inspiring stories. Thank you.